Well, hi, good morning. Thank you so much for joining me in my shop. Today is May 2nd. Oh my gosh. And I'm very excited today because I'm pretty sure I'm going to make this radio work today. I think I know the essence of its problem, and I think the solution is sitting right here on the table. But first, there's a couple of interesting anomalies in this radio I want to talk about just for a few minutes. And then we're going to look at the real, what I believe was the real problem with it. And what is the symptom? The symptom is very weak and distorted audio, almost no audio coming out of this radio. Otherwise, it seems to be operating okay, as far as I can tell. So the first curiosity is this capacitor, which you can't quite see there. This one right here, this red one. It's not connected to anything. Well, one leg is connected. The other leg is just in the open. It's just hanging here in a curious position. If you trace this back, it goes to a resistor on a terminal strip here, and from the resistor, a wire runs all the way to the earphone jack, or headphone jack. So let's take a look at the schematic, and I'll show you what this part is. I was in here last night on my own examining this stuff, and a lot of stuff came clear. So here we go. Okay, so my cat just showed up here with a bullet. So if we look over here at the headphone jack, you can see the center wire come back through a resistor and through a capacitor to this connection here. I'm swallowing my words now. I'm pretty sure I got the story right, but a piece of it is not quite right. I thought this was going down to the bus here, but it's not. Or is it getting there some other way? In any case, this capacitor is the one that's cut free. This is the end that's cut free on it. It's the correct size for C79. It's hooked up to a resistor R82, which is the correct size for R82. It's also a 1 watt resistor, which R82 is noted as. So I don't think there's any doubt this is what's been cut. But look at the diagram here. Somebody has drawn a cross through here. The person who did the writing, 12AU 7 and 6 AMS, also scratched out these two components. Why? What's that about? What kind of a weird coincidence that this happens to be what was done to the radio on my bench. Meanwhile, on this schematic that I got, the same two parts are crossed out. The scratching sound is my cat, by the way. So I think probably what has happened is the manufacturers decided that this was not a good idea. And they ordered this to be, there's probably a bulletin on this, to remove these connections, or break this connection anyway. That was my cat that did that. And this radio went in for service, and they probably implemented that, and probably some other changes too that had come up along the way, because that's usually what would happen. A device like this would come back to the factory for maybe an alignment, or it has a problem, and they implement the improvements at that time that were available. So that's probably what happened here. They got rid of this. Now, does that kill the headphone jack? I don't think so, because I don't think so. This is the grounded side here. Yes, it would. It would. This is I just realized now the only source of incoming audio for the headphones was through this connection. Oh, come on. Now that was my cat batting the microphone. Come on. Come on. I gotta give him something to play with. I usually have something to throw here. I don't right now. Okay, he's busy getting into trouble there. Okay, so that's the story with this. The headphones do not work. I tried them. Even with the distorted sound, nothing came through. And that's because this was disconnected, and I hadn't. So much for that. That's that mystery. Now the next mystery is that on the back of this radio is a panel for making connections to speakers, and there's 3 terminals that are called 600 ohm center tap. where are they on the schematic? And so I looked before, they don't appear. They don't appear anywhere on the schematic. So that's kind of weird. Is this not the right schematic? What's the story here? Let's go back to the camera. Well, the story here, here's the connections I'm talking about, these three up here. You can see it says center, it's very nice, 600 ohm center tap. There's no wires connected to those terminals. There's nothing connected to them. They're doing nothing. The only terminals that are connected are these two, where I have the resistor installed. This is labeled 2.5 ohm. That's all it says, 2.5 ohms right there. This is connected via a black wire up to the output transformer. So basically, the only output that works on this is this. These are just here to fool people like me and make me waste time. And they did their job. So don't know what the story is, why that panel's on there. It doesn't show on the schematic. Now, what's really wrong with this radio? So yesterday I was using the signal tracer, and I found that the signal was distorted even as I backed up a little bit into the radio. So last night I decided, and I also discovered that where there should be a 12AU7, there's a 12AT7, which probably wouldn't present a problem, but it's not the right tube. So I decided I would find a 12AU7 and put in a 12AU7. I haven't put it in yet. It's sitting right here on my bench. It's down here. But the tube right next is also a 12AU7, so I thought, well, why don't you just check that next tube too. I got my tube tester out, it's set up. So I pulled it out. Here it is here. This tube's defective. I've put the X on it, that's me, and I bent one of the leads on the bottom, which is my method for making sure I don't put a dead tube back into a radio somewhere. So I have two new 12, not new, but good working 12AU7s I'm going to put in this radio, and my guess is it's going to work. That's my happy guess right now. So we're going to do that. We're going to put those tubes in. And try it out. I'll take this off here. I take the AT7 out. I did not test the 12AT7. Assumably it was okay, but maybe it wasn't. Okay, those are the correct tubes now. Speaker hookup, and away we go. Great, I think I'm just going to stop for a little minute. Build the tension in myself. Okay, we're ready to start. I think the first thing to try is FM. It's picked up a little bit of FM in the past, and so I have the FM antenna connected here. Spin this around. Okay. You know what I did not do? I did not connect a speaker. I have not connected a speaker today. Let's do that. Okay. We are ready now. The band I want to be on is band number 2. And right now we're on. It's so difficult to see the band numbers down here. Band number 2. Drummer in the middle, IF gain 80% or so. Switch this to FM, and we are ready to go. Here we go. Are you going to work? And we want to be tuned down around. Look at this tuning. Wow. 91.5 right in this area here. Well, there's some volume up there. Uh-oh. Well, we seem to have overcome the volume problems. But the distortion remains. Phooey. We've overcome some of the volume problems. 95.7. So what we're going to do, since that didn't come out so good, we're going to switch to AM here. And we'll go back to where? I think I was trying the actual shortwave band. Be band number 6. That's 5. That's 6. Band 6, and the low end is down around, that's a weird sound, 20. This is 20 megahertz. Now I'll move the antenna. So, too bad. Disappointing. Very disappointing. But let's not give up entirely yet. So let's just set to 25 megacycles or megahertz. And we'll try and tune that in. 25 is here. You see the meter here. So I haven't talked about this meter, but it appears to stick. It gets up to vertical and it doesn't want to go past. It appears to stick there. Not the greatest volume, but it's there. So we're putting in a moderately strong signal. So this should be pushing this meter right up. Let's try actually picking up some radio signals and just hear what that sounds like. So I can connect to the outdoor antenna here. It's still picking it up. How's it doing that? This isn't that powerful. How's this radio picking this up? Picking it up on this piece of wire is what it's doing. How do I know this piece of wire is good? Okay, that's why we're going to hook it up to the outdoor antenna here. And I have to go throw a switch. Make sure the antenna is switched on down here. Okay, well I've noticed the hiss has gone way up. Let's just... It's definitely coming out of here. Very surprised. Take this right away. I don't know how that's working. Kind of a mystery to me. let's ignore that now. We'll see what we can pick up with this radio. We're at 25, that's pretty high. We're going to go down. If anything. We get to 20, we might get WWV. Come on, FM. AM. Oh, wait a minute. This was on FM. When I tuned that signal in, and it was very weak. I think I know why. I should have had this on AM. Okay. It's pretty quiet now. Don't hear anything. Nothing. Okay, I'm going to put this on CW. Assumption is now there's an oscillator in here that will hear if it comes across a signal. That's maxed. The speaker still connected? Yeah. Very quiet. Anywhere, somewhere. Oh, what was that? That's just a mechanical squeak inside the radio. Well, we're not doing too well. We'll get back to 25 here, 25 megahertz. Right here. You don't hear a thing. Okay. A little mysterious to me as to why having it set to FM would make it pick this up. Okay, so very low signal level there. And 25. Right here. Let's go up. So that's the CW setting effect. Oh. Dirt in the switch. That's a little better, but we're still running full blast. So that's really not very good output for such a full blast, in the sense that the audio is turned up full here. Signal's moderately strong. Should produce a big reaction on the meter. It's just coming up a little bit. What's this trimmer do? Ooh. Just happens to be in the right spot. Yep. Okay, I'm going to knock this way up now. This would be the strongest signal you'd ever encounter from an antenna. See that? So this suggests the radio is working well, and it's just not getting a lot of audio out of it. There could be a lot more in there that we just can't hear. Well, there wouldn't be a lot more, I don't think. What's one more to try here? Let's go back down here. Right at 20. Oh, I'm on the signal generator. Yeah, I'm not going to pick anything up there. Okay, I'm going to stop for a bit and just think about what's happened and ponder my next move on this. Seems like the audio is still weak, and that's about all I can say right now. Yeah. Okay.
So, at a land point of
What they're talking about here is the concern that Canadians have who are traveling to the States, that they're going to get picked off at the border. And this has happened to a couple of Canadians who have been picked off for reasons never said, and one woman spent 12 days in custody, shipped all over the United States, with no one explaining to her what is going on. Nobody would answer her questions or anything. And then on the 12th day, she was stuck on a plane and fired back to Canada. And no explanation at all. And this is just one of a number of stories that have come out of people being basically arrested at the border for no reason, no known reason, and then spirited away and eventually thrown back into Canada. So that's why they're talking about this, because Canadians are worried now. A lot of Canadians travel to the States, a lot. I've been there many times. Myself, my parents went there, to South Carolina, down to Florida, all that kind of stuff, to golf in the winter or in the springtime before it was warm enough up here, and would cross the border pretty casually. Cross the border to shop and come back. We live near Buffalo. We'd cross the border, come back. It was no big deal to do that. You were stopped, you asked a couple questions, and away you went. It's not like that anymore. Now, I think there's a tremendous amount of suspicion when you get to the border. It's not a friendly affair anymore. I think. I don't know, because my wife and I have firmly decided we'll never go to the United States. We wouldn't go in any case. We have no reason to go. And we're not inclined to go, but given the circumstances, we certainly would never go to the States. Hey, I used to lecture at the University of West Virginia. Surprise! That's right. At a short course, once a year, I would go down and present a discussion or present a particular topic about corrosion in utilities. Yeah. So, friendly country was then, not now. Okay. I'm not sure what to do with this still. So I'm going to let it sit here for a while I ponder it some more. Maybe more tube testing, going to reveal more bad tubes. That's quite possible, and I can do that without too much difficulty. Alignment, that's foremost on my mind. I think this thing is quite old. It could perhaps benefit tremendously from an alignment. And we don't know what has happened to this radio in the past. Somebody's done something to it. Looks like it was done in a factory, maybe not. Maybe somebody tried tweaking the alignment in the past and messed it up. I don't know. Who knows? Don't know. That's why I got to stop and think about what my next move would be with this radio. Okay, the only idea that's come to mind here is that I should test all the tubes in this radio before going any further. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to set it aside. Actually, I'm going to put it, not really setting it aside, I'm going to put it somewhere where it's going to go in the end permanently. And it can sit there while I test the tubes on it. And I'm going to take on a new project in the meantime. And that's the one that's hidden under my useless cat protection here. This guy. This is the my cat protection at work. There it is. That's the radio. That's what's coming next. And I guard it from the... Ow! Jeepers creepers. Who got these cats in? How did these cats get here anyway? What happened there? So thanks a lot for watching this short series. I'm happy with the circumstance here. Not 100%, but much better than it was. Getting this knob to work was the big thing, and I'm on to another radio tomorrow. So see ya. I'll see you on the next video. Oh, stop it.